You have quite the formidable treble then, starting with Manchester United. Can you approach this with almost nothing to lose?
Um, I think we can, but I don't think that's not going to be the way we're going to go for it. I've said before, it's not going to be the biggest shock in football if we go there and get something. So I don't think Burnley against Liverpool would have gone there and been it's a free hit. I almost feel like that's sort of a lower league mentality when you're playing in the FA Cup. We're in the Premier League with them. Obviously, the table says what it says at one end or the other, but for 90 minutes of football, we're Premier League footballers, and every single one of the players on that pitch tomorrow night will have quality, and it's whoever can bring that quality as a team will come out on top. So I think we're going to go there knowing that the way we set up is going to help us to get a result, and we've just got to put that into a performance which will allow us to do that.
It's fair to say as a sweeping statement that in games this season it's been little things, hasn't it, that's led to goals, etc. How can that be improved as a group, as a defensive structure, to turn maybe the short defeats into a point or better?
Yeah, I think at the moment that's probably a little bit of a saving grace. We've not gone into games, and possibly other than the Chelsea game at the start of the season, we haven't been getting beat 4-5-0. The amount of times it's been 1-0 is obviously very frustrating. But little bits of individual player performances. Myself, I haven't performed as well as I did last year, but hopefully them sort of areas as a team, as a defensive unit, we can sort of sniff out and get rid of. And if that's me making more saves or more important saves at crucial times, or the lads making a big clearance or a big header, where in the start of the season we were probably sort of switching off, or someone was sneaking in and scoring. But I think you've seen recently we've played probably better football, we've played with more freedom. And as I said earlier, we were three wins out of 4, and that's obviously just a testament of how we're keeping going, and we never say die attitude really, and it's still in our hands at this moment in time. We know we can still pull this through. So for us to do anything from that, we need to perform at our maximum 10, 11 players, not 6 or 7. We can't carry anyone anymore, and we all know that. No one's pointing fingers. Everyone's together as a group, and that started a few weeks ago, and obviously it carries on tomorrow night.
And how have you dealt with that in terms of individual mistakes? Because look, you've just said there have been some, but then there've been other performances where you've been making saves left, right, and centre. But obviously with a goalkeeper, the mistake leads to a goal.
Yeah, it does, and obviously I've played enough games now to know that you can't dwell on these things. The best thing recently is that I've been playing game after game, and games are coming thick and fast, so you can quite easily get it out of your system sooner rather than later. As I mentioned to Tim before, I think the lack of fans has probably hindered me a little bit. I do think that the buzz around the stadium allows me to get up for it and just bounce off them really. But as a goalkeeper, you know, as you say, if you make mistakes, 9 times out of 10 it's going in the back of the net. That's the profession I'm in. It's the position I chose as a kid, so there's no shying away from that. But I'm here for 4 or 5 years, hopefully, and this first 6 months is going to look back at, and it'll be one which you learn from, and you know how to come out the other side a better goalkeeper, and it won't define my sort of time at Sheffield United, but we need obviously leaders and people, as I say, performing at the maximum every time on the pitch, and obviously I need to step up to the plate as well.
It's a fascinating, for someone who isn't a professional goalkeeper, a fascinating kind of psychological process you've got there to not let it affect you, because you're on the biggest stage and, well, the whole team aren't doing as well as they expected to, and you'll be a focal point for that, and not letting it affect you.
Yeah, people have their opinions, everyone's entitled to their opinions, and that's from the staff here to pundits who you'll probably read about or you see on TV. There's no getting away from that. People on social media, it's very easy to read, but it's also very easy just to go away from that. So it doesn't really affect me too much. Obviously, confidence as a goalkeeper is a huge thing. So if you're lacking a little bit on the pitch, you can probably tell that, and I possibly have this season. But as I say, the profession we're in is difficult, and obviously speaking to or playing against other top class keepers at the end of their career. Ben Foster's YouTube channel, there's many a time where he's talking about mistakes and where he was younger, dwelling on it, and he realised that at the end of the day there's more important things than football but to get yourself down about. So if you have that perspective, then you know what you've done wrong, you analyse it, but you don't need to be beating yourself up for 3-4 days. And the staff here are straight talkers, as you know. So if I know I've made a mistake, then I get told. Monday morning comes, we go through it, line under it, and we hit the week head on. So there's no feeling sorry for myself. I know I can perform better, and I should be doing better. So it is what it is in that perspective. I've just got to try and turn it around and help the team best I can.
Just a final couple from me. You mentioned the social media aspect there, and a few of the players in this patch, so at Sheffield Wednesday and Barnsley, have mentioned the sort of the perils of social media. It kind of begs the question why a footballer or somebody like that, a sports person, would perhaps bother with it, because you kind of know what you're going to get. You're going to get massive praise clearly when things go well, but there's a very dark kind of other side to that.
Well, that's the thing. You take with the good with the bad. If you don't want to do that, then I know a lot of players who aren't on it. I know a lot of players who have social media but don't have it on their phones, and it's run by someone in their agency or someone at the club. But for me, I have social media for my friends. It's a way of communicating. It's a way of sending funny memes and videos. But it's also to speak to the fans when there's a chance to win signed shirts and you have to reply and things like that. So listen, I don't read too many comments when it's going good. I don't read too many comments when it's going bad. So if you have that sort of routine where you go on Twitter or Instagram for one reason, and that's to see how the world's going or find funny videos, and that's what you do. If you go searching and typing in your name, then you're probably going to find things you're not going to like. And again, that's life. You can't make everyone's like you. You can't make everyone think you're a good keeper. There's been people in the past who have said De Gea's not good enough. He's been one of the best keepers in the Premier League for the last 10 years. But that's how it goes. We're in the spotlight. So social media can go one or two ways. I think sometimes it can step over the line, but it's how you deal with it. And for me, I don't read the good stuff. I don't read the bad stuff, and it's purely there for me and my mates.
And just finally from me, I mean, you were part of a Bournemouth side that beat Manchester United last season, and it was a nil scoreline. So Tim was talking about the inspiration of what Burnley have done recently. Well, that's quite a personal one for you.
Yeah. And Sheffield United drew 3-3 last season as well, and even the game at Bramley in December could have been 3-3, 2-2. So there's inspiration for everywhere, and I think a lot of my clean sheets came against sort of top 4, top 5 opposition, and with the likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, and so I know and we know as a team that we can shut teams like that out. It's just how we go about it tomorrow night. If everyone's pulling in the right direction, everyone's concentrated and everyone's playing at a maximum, then we'll get something out of it. And we haven't done that enough this season. But tomorrow night, we as you say, we'll all probably look back at results or games we've played really well and which footballers do to get that little bit of inspiration. And hopefully we can turn it into a great night at Old Trafford.